Hey there, my name's Ethonra, and welcome to Destiny 2. And we are about to do my favorite expansion so far. Beyond Light arguably probably still won't surpass it in terms of story. Gameplay wise, yeah, absolutely, but story, most certainly not. But here it is. Oop. Thought I had turned my volume down. Apparently I didn't. I was just watching a YouTube video about the Hunter Dodge nerf, and rest assured I gave my thoughts on that. But I'm not going to say that here. I pretty much got it out of my system there. All I can say is, my fellow hunters, do not despair. When the nerf Reaper comes for Titans and Warlocks, they'll get theirs too. I might elaborate more on that later, but I pretty much want to focus mostly on this expansion. So, Forsaken, last call. Fight alongside K6 to help Petrovenge regain control of the dangerous Prison of Elders. The Prison of Elders was a very fun PvE. I know the Crucible players don't remember what that is, because the Crucible and PvP dictates everything in this game. Sorry, I said I'd hold back. Sorry. Anyway, the Prison of Elders was a very fun PvE content in House of Wolves and Destiny 1. And this is going to be a somewhat callback to that. And unfortunately, there is no Prison of Elders here, which is, again, unfortunate, but that's where it's coming from. It's a nice nod to the House of Wolves and everything that went on there. And there's some even lore going on that I don't think is mentioned to you straight up. Like, there is no cutscene. I don't think any of the NPCs mention it. You only get it from, like, the lore triumphs, I believe. But Varix was the original, I want to say handler, but I don't think that's the... No, it's not the right term. Warden. He was the original warden of the Prison of Elders, but some shenanigans with him happened. I'm hoping we see him again in Beyond Light. But anywho, cutscene time.
This is awkward. You got a gun I can borrow?
No. But I do have a bullet with your name on it.
Any second now, my partner is gonna roll in here and kill every last one of you. And you, my man.
This is going to hurt. A lot. Any last words?
How's your sister? Petrovenge. Thanks for the invite. What you packing for this party?
The usual.
Ooh, do the thing. Seriously, watch this. That'll never not freak me out. Do it again.
Later. Maybe. Right now, Gen Pop is running wild. Fortunately, the main arena and lower levels remain on lockdown. But if the core security systems fail, containment is going to be a problem.
Just another day at the office. All right, partner, this is a Cade riff in 6. Watch me for the changes and try to keep up. Now let's go to prison! Ha! Woo! Got you! Got you! Got you!
Ah, that Cade, that lovable scamp. So a couple of things I want to touch on, but we'll wait for some of the dialogue to get finished first. I thought it would have loaded faster. I actually do have some practice footage of me playing this level particularly. Like I said, I like to play as if it's my first time, like looking around, making things a bit more cinematic, that kind of thing. Case in point, if you just run on ahead, you wouldn't see that.
Oh, these guys really want to dance.
This riot has to end here. If these killers get out, the reef will be overrun.
So we split up and take them out. And a 1, 2, 3.
So one of my favorite things about this expansion, besides it focusing somewhat on Cade, is that it focuses on the Ace of Spades. Well, I guess that's not technically true, but imagine that waiting behind a doorbell. Yeah, and that guy, I nearly forgot about him. But anywho, it doesn't necessarily focus on the Ace of Spades, but I don't want to keep talking about it because it's going to spoil a little bit. But I'll talk about it when we get there. But it does have a fair bit to do.
Oh, PB. One of the best parties.
It does do a fair bit with the Ace of Spades. Also, I'm not sure what triggers it. Like, I don't know if it actually comes down to how you fight, or if how long you take, or if it's completely random. Because I've done this level, I would probably say like 5 or 6 times, and Cade almost always says something different every single time, so not sure why this does. Hopefully we'll get one of my favorites. I'll let you know if we do. Well, I'm gonna miss being able to do that.
Whoa! Who's blowing stuff up without me?
I'm gonna get eyes on that explosion. You two join me when you can.
On our way, Petra.
The faster the better. That blast knocked a few more cell blocks open.
Yeah, this is, I should also mention this, we don't see any of this in Prison of Elders.
I love field work. That explosion took out security on the lower decks. I'll check the high-value prisoners down there. You and Cade head to the security hub. Get security back online.
Okay, pal, this crowd isn't gonna just let us stroll into the security hub. I'll go high, you go low.
Something else I nearly forgot to mention is this is also some Destiny 1 nods.
Headshot!
Yeah, see, I think he might be actually commenting on what I'm doing. Feels that way anyway. And that is that first engagement with Pet Revenge. I remember way back when, one of my older friends, I actually showed that to him, where in the Reef in Destiny 1, Petra would randomly just levitate her knife like that. So I know that's something not everyone has seen before.
Now, where's the fire? Other than the actual... You know what? Never mind.
Yeah, see, I don't remember Cade saying that before.
Buddy, put on a show.
I don't remember him saying that before either. What can I say? I aim to please. Like I said, that was one thing, a particular item, I actually have it on right now, but I don't want to reveal it just yet, is also a nod to something that's happened in Destiny 1 involving Cade, something, again, most people won't know about unless you were lucky enough to have it happen to you or you just hung around it.
Can I just say, I'm having the time of my life right now.
Yeah, I was afraid that would happen. Cade's cape right there actually disappeared. That's kind of a problem that annoys me greatly. It's debatable if it's worse in Destiny 1 or not, because in Destiny 1, I would call it starchy cape, where your cape literally just turns into this like solid mass. It has no flow at all, so it's just there. It's like wearing a brick on your back or something. Very annoying to see. Something Bungie absolutely could fix, but no one but me apparently seemed to have problems with it, so no one bothered to fix it. In Destiny 2, there's like, yeah, we could do that, but let's find a different way to annoy players. So instead, sometimes the cloth physics will just straight up disappear. Like you saw in Cade, Hunter's entire cloaks will vanish, only thing left being the hood. Titans, I forgot the official name for it, Mark, right, Mark will disappear. They'll just be gone. And Warlocks, it's kind of funny because in Destiny 1, Hunters got it the worst. I think it happened the least to Warlocks when it came to the starchiness. But in Destiny 2, it's actually the opposite. Look at him go. With Warlocks in Destiny 2, it's actually worse. They get it the worst because the bottom half of their cloak disappears. You would think it'd be their bond, but no, the bottom half of their cloak disappears. I'll get you in just a second. Nah, that wasn't a head, but it'll suffice. It would help if I wasn't being shot at. And then they want to run. Not on my watch. Nah. That's still pretty satisfying. That's something I kind of wish that would be fixed with the trip mine grenade. Oh, that Drake is gone. Is, in addition to all the other things I mentioned, I would wish that the only part that would stick would be the bottom. That way you're pretty much guaranteed to have it land the way you want it to land. And it might do that, but it honestly doesn't feel that way.
Now, copy that. Everything's gone dark down here, so I'm stuck taking the long way to Supermax.
It feels like it'll stick to whatever first makes contact with it, besides the sensor beam.
Whoa, this was not part of the plan!
Cade!
Scratch that! Definitely the plan. Meet you at the security. Go left. Left! Your other left!
This is completely ironic and maybe unintentional, but I find it so funny, is that one of the ways to fix the starchy cape and the vanishing cloak, and that applies to the Titan's mark and the Warlock's trench coat, is if you die, that's one way to reset it. So Cade nearly falling to his death actually gave him his cloak back, so I find that very funny. Or you could carry a spare cloak, mark, trench coat, because again, it doesn't affect the Warlock's bond, it only affects their actual chest piece armor. Anyway, you just carry a spare one of those. Oh nice, right between the bars. Yeah, how'd that taste? Anyway, you just carry a spare cloak, mark, or trench coat, and all you have to do is put it on. Like it doesn't matter what level it is, so it can just be a cheap low level one. Just put it on, wait for a second for it to load in, and then put back on your other one, and it'll fix it. It's sad you have to do that, but like I said, I'm the only one who cares, and my voice is not loud enough on its own, so Bungie never bothered to fix it.
This says we need warden level clearance to open the door. Kate.
I got you. Stand by for promotion.
Oh, you missed a truly masterful performance. All that's left is the coup de grace.
Actually,
What's happening to the floor? Ah, these hives are junking up the work. Get out of here, will you?
I actually hate doing this room way back when as my hunter, because not necessarily it was hard, but it technically goes on forever until you break these things in the floor, and they'll start to throw Thrall and Curse Thrall at you while you're trying to do this. Thankfully, Ace of Spades has Third Eye, so I don't have to worry about them sneaking up on me as much. But of course, Third Eye means nothing if I'm not paying attention to the radar. Another funny thing is,
I've got the truck. Now, get your turn.
Remember to purge the buffers.
Sure, got it. One question? How do I do that?
Press the red button.
They're all red.
Then press all of them.
I can't believe that worked.
the
I'm
true power
amazing at this.
of the XO.
Scratch that. It did not work.
As I was saying, the hit markers on these things
Don't
are
worry,
really
we
weird.
got this. Do your thing.
Hopefully I can do this without embarrassing myself. But the hit markers on them are really weird, because you can be shooting them, and it seems like they never break off. Like, I remember sometimes I'll actually do that, and nothing would happen. Then again, it might have been laggy, I guess, and my shots weren't registering. That's a real pain in the butt to do, especially when you're using something like the Celestial Nighthawk, and you get one shot, and the shot registered as being hit, but the lag rewinds it, so the enemy has all their health back, and you no longer have a super. So that might have happened, but I know for a fact I can hit these things dead on, and sometimes it'll do nothing.
Booting it up. For real, this time. Come on, come on!
And stay down. Tech support with extreme prejudice.
Well, everything's where it's supposed to be, but now it's asking me for some kind of secondary activation?
Should be a terminal you can use out on the catwalks. I'll cover you from here, once I figure out how to turn the turrets on.
By the way, you and me, good team. Let me get that door for you.
Oh, the turrets have a manual mode. Interesting.
Hey, buddy, what do you think of my new gun?
Yeah, he's actually using those turrets, which is kind of cool. I want to see if I
Still
can...
with us, Petra? We're gonna clear you a path to Supermax real soon.
Copy that.
Let's see if I can get to the end before all the turrets are destroyed.
Oh, I could get used to this.
Hey, look at that. That's cool. That's very cool. I hope it has the stats I want. That'll be pretty nice to have in PvP. You know, the Iron Banner, I should say. Because I do not care for regular Crucible. Really?
201, 202.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on. Perfect.
I've hit a locked door. Any updates for me?
Bringing the security system online.
And if memory serves, this is going to be one of the best cutscenes.
You in the green now, PV?
Yes, accessing the lower levels now. Just gotta check on a couple of things. And then we can call it a day.
So long as you're the one buying.
One of the best cutscenes in all of Destiny. Not just Destiny 2, in all of Destiny.
Looks like we're all done and dusted here, kiddos. Ramen's on me.
Looking pretty good down here. Just gotta check one last thing. No! Cade, he's gone! This isn't a prison riot. It's a prison break!
The airlock on Deck Zero. It's the only way out this far down. They're going to escape.
Not if I get there first. Never felt better. You see that, Petra? Petra? Guardian? Must have knocked out the comm relays with that spectacular landing. And cue the ominous music. Okay, everybody. Back in your cages. I said, back in your cages. Yeah, that hurt. Sorry, not sorry. That's it. Now I'm pissed. Oh, is that really all you got? Help me out here, little buddy. I'm coming home, Ace.
Cade? Petra? What's happening down there? Come in, Cade. Hey, welcome back. We fell at least 20 stories down, and I can't reach Cade. Or Petra.
Right. Things are not looking too good for Cade. Also, I do appreciate how kind of like horror movie-esque they're building up this new enemy.
Ether trails. Look out for escaped fallen. But this ether is wrong, somehow. Something's loose, and it's close.
As I was saying earlier, didn't really finish on it, we never see most of this in Destiny 1. We only get to see like the arenas of the Prison of Elders. So either this new enemy is something that has been recently caught and created, which it has, but this seems like surprisingly recent. Like, let's say the Taken King around that time they must have been created. Yeah. Something freaky about these enemies, I honestly didn't even notice it at first, is that they don't have a head. They have a neck and like some kind of cap on it where their head used to be, but they don't have a head anymore. So if I shoot them in the head, not only did it survive, those weren't yellow numbers. That is. Don't ask me how shooting their burning cistern or whatever that is damages them, but it does.
These things, they used to be fallen.
And something very interesting about the Scorn is the absolute despisal of the servitors. Because what we just saw was, I'm not going to get too into it just yet, but let's just say a different type of Fallen attacking a server, which would be heretical to the Fallen, considering the fact that they worship the servitors like gods. So, that's extremely unusual.
The Fallen didn't just become this. Someone did this to them.
Who needs handling when you have third eye?
Detecting activity below us, but I still can't get anyone on comms. The lower we go, the more corrupted ether we see.
He says that, but it's like, interestingly, it's like the opposite is true. Because you see near the beginning, it was all over the place. Now it's hardly here. Unless, of course, he means within the bodies of these fallen, or ex-fallen. This is an interesting touch. Oh, that's sad. They didn't stand a chance. Something very cheap about that enemy is when they turn in that fog form, we can't hurt them, but they can't hurt us. But 9 times out of 10, if given the opportunity, they will come out of that form shooting. So if you're at low health and you're pursuing one, it's not a very good idea, especially on like burn activities, because they're guaranteed going to shoot you before you shoot them, unless you're ready for it. Yeah, I was hoping that would have killed him. I was going to use my super, but I didn't want to risk him going to that fog form and then just running away. Well, he ran away anyway, but it's better than wasting my super. I meant to add with commentary to my Twitter notification. I got to remember to do that so people don't think I'm trying to bait them. See what I mean? Came out shooting. That's funny. I actually shot that way earlier than I was supposed to. Wasn't trying to though, moving stay still. Like obviously we're supposed to go in there, but
It's fuse shut. We need another way.
here's more of that horror feel I was talking about. Classic trope. I do find it interesting though that it originally showed up as a blue dot. That's not the first time that has happened, because that thing clearly isn't a friendly. Now these are your exploder enemies. Interestingly, the Cabal, I would say the Cabal don't technically have one. They kind of do in the form of those incinerators, but they're not suicidal. They just happen to explode if you shoot the tank. So I guess not all the races have them, but most of them do. When these explode, I'm not sure what kind of damage they do to you. I'm guessing it's arc because the explosion is blue. But there doesn't seem to be any kind of lingering side effects, like if a fanatic explodes on you, or if the Mars Cursed Thrall explode on you, it'll slow you down. Let's go way here, summon them. And you see that that thing wasn't moving that fast. Here's another cool thing. You can kind of turn them into grenades when you do that. You already could, but it's cool that you can actually ragdoll them a little bit to give them a bit more oomph if you want to knock them into a crowd or something. But anyway, you saw it tripped my trip mine, but it did like no damage. You know, oop.
No. Kate's ghost. She's dead. Without his ghost, Cade dies. We've got to find him.
I would hope with the dodge nerf that they buff the trip mine grenade. That'd be pretty sick. Also, this big dastard right here, his weak point is, interestingly, where his head is supposed to be, because he still doesn't have a head, but it's right there. And he's down.
Hold on, Kate. We're coming.
Get used to that. We're going to be handling most bosses that way in this expansion. Also, real quick, apologies if the stream acts weird. It's not working right now on my phone, so I can't really tell what's going on.
He didn't feel a thing.
How's my hair? Speechless. Typical. Oh no. There's nothing I can... I'm sorry. Listen, kid. This pain on you. This is what I get for playing nice. You tell Zavala and Ikora, the Vanguard, is the best bet I ever lost.
He had the worst jokes. Even worse timing. I wanted to laugh. I really did. We should have been there. This is not your fault. This is on the head of Uldren Sov. But if he thinks what he's done is the end, it's not. It's the beginning. We're going to fight him. Do you hear me? All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter. We will take the Reef by storm. And then we will mount the head of that son of a bitch on his precious throne. For our fire team. For Cade.
No.
What did you say?
We are not an army. We are not conquerors. We are guardians. We need to keep our eyes here. On our home, our people, the Traveler. The Reef was lost the moment it lost its queen. So if another Sov wants a stretch of lifeless rocks, let him have it.
This is Cade we're talking about. For us to do nothing is
Say it.
Cowardice.
I refuse to bury any more friends.
You won't have to. Uldren Sov is mine.
Excuse me. So yeah, it only took, Cade dying, but our character finally decided it was time to speak. Kind of irks me a little bit because, could have just as easily said something before Cade died. Cade even comments on it. And I don't know if the Bungie developers, creators, whatever, thought that was cute or something. Like, no, the character should absolutely be talking. Cade literally died without ever hearing us speak, if you want to look at it like that. So, not the wisest decision. Definitely not a choice I would have made.
I won't forget everyone we lost. I won't.
Let me just take care of this real quick. And then, of course, there's the topic of Cade's death in and of itself, which I'm going to say Bungie just pulled that just because they could. Remember when I said... Because remember, you gotta remember, Destiny 2 was actually dying. Like, people were not into it at all until Forsaken came around. And I say dying, like, the series is gonna end. I don't mean like that. I mean dying in the sense that virtually no one cared unless you were like the hardcore Destiny 2 players or content creators, you really weren't playing Destiny. So that's what I meant by is dying. But I said all that to say, out of all the characters they chose Cade because they knew that one would get the most fan feedback. Like, again, I think most people want Zavala to die, so that obviously wasn't going to work. And Ikora also would have been a good choice, but even more popular than her is Cade. But as I was saying, to me, it feels like they killed Cade off simply because they could. One, to drum up sales, and two, is because the way Cade died, he technically shouldn't have been killed there. And I'll get into that in just a second. Let me look at these. Mostly resilience, very little recovery, very little strength. I think I will keep those. I wish it had more intelligence. That would be great. I'll hold on to them. I just wish they had more intelligence. And I'll actually get into why Cade should not have died once we get into it. Because there's at least 2 reasons, maybe 3, why Cade shouldn't die. And also, here's the cloak I've been trying to hide from you guys. Obviously, this is why I didn't want you to see it. The cloak is literally called Memory of Cade. And then when you see this, this is awesome. Because this is actually a line from Cade in Destiny 1 that you will never hear unless you get lucky enough to hear it when you walk up on him, or you just hang around long enough for him to speak. I think he usually says it, and this might be the only time he says it, is whenever you talk to him and then leave, like you buy something from his inventory or just open the menu then close it. I think he'll say this when you're walking away. But yeah, this is actually a line straight from Cade 6, a line a lot of players won't actually get to hear unless they go back and do it, or they were like me and just so happen to know that. So it's really nice to see that there. I like that a lot.
I thought you'd be gone by now. I would attempt to dissuade you from your course, but it would only insult us both. As it stands, we've got every available Guardian dealing with escapees from the Prison of Elders. It's still not enough. If you go to war with the Reef, it's a war you will have to fight alone. The Vanguard cannot help you.
And again, I have to testify for Zavala here. Zavala, right here, Zavala doesn't have the luxury of revenge. He has the city to think of. Just like he said with Cade, I don't want to bury any more friends. He doesn't want to send more Guardians to die over Cade. He wants revenge. Who wouldn't? But as it says here, he doesn't have that luxury. Because let's say, for example, we attack the Reef and we deal them a crushing blow. You really think... Now, keep in mind, the Reef are extremely vengeful, especially without their queen. I would say with, but that's not technically true. Mara pretty much kept them in check relatively well. But they were surprisingly violent when they wanted to be. So that being said, you really don't think they'll seek retribution and attack the city? Something Zavala absolutely does not want to happen, even at the cost of not getting revenge himself. So some people will respect him for that, some won't. Personally, I obviously do respect Zavala for that, because he's putting the needs of the city beyond his own personal vendetta of wanting to revenge. But with that in mind, he's not saying don't do it. He's not saying I don't want you to do it. He's just saying I can't help you. We can't help you. If you do this, you have to do it alone. But is anyone going to acknowledge that? Nope. Zavala's a coward. I'll go and tell you right now, Ikora Ray's pretty much in the same boat. She absolutely wants to go to the war with the Reef, but when Zavala pretty much, told her, if we do this, Guardians and non-Guardians are going to die, Cade wouldn't want that. So she's not going to go for that reason, but she really wants to. And then there's some really interesting things going to happen with Beyond Light because of what happens in Forsaken. I'm not going to say what till we get there, but
What news of the war?
it is going to be interesting. I promise you that.
On the edge of the reef lies a wasteland called the Tangled Shore. That's where you'll find Aldrin. I won't stop you from going. As for Savala, he would cling to the broken pieces of the future he imagined until they crumble in his hand. He hasn't seen what I've seen. Ever since the Traveler woke, it's been speaking to me. Visions of crowns, roses, silver trees, candles that turn into bonfires. And I'm not the only one. If you see something new, don't be afraid to pursue it. I wish I could help you more. But the city needs a unified vanguard. Or at least the illusion of one. And this is your road now. Carry the light. Excuse me. My mind was somewhere else.
Also, a little interesting thing is now that Cade is officially dead. Funny thing about that, many players to this day still believe Cade can come back. And I would say he might be able to. Actually, and that's not even with the whole, Deep Stone Crypt thing. No, I came up with this way before we even knew that was a thing. But technically, I would think Cade could come back, but one, he shouldn't, and I can also explain why there are reasons why he should and should not be able to.
Sir? I can't tell if that look in your eye is determination or rage. Word is, you and Cade had a pretty good partnership. That's rare. From what I could tell, that guy preferred to work alone. Maybe he liked how you pulped a hive god or two. I know that's why I like you. Listen, don't let his death weigh on you. Somewhere out there, someone's got a bullet with your name on it. Same for him. Same for me. Nothing we can do. So go out on your terms, with a gun in your hand and loot in your pockets. Only way to live. The derelict's always in orbit if you wanna vent. Go be bad guys.
Yeah, he said all of that, but the Drifter also straight up says that he doesn't like Cade. And I believe that's because, in his eyes, Cade falls under the goody two-shoes side, despite the fact Cade is all for bending rules if he has to. Not good enough. Not evil enough. But no, the Drifter straight up says he didn't like Cade. Now, let's see. I showed that to show you all that virtually everyone, not necessarily everyone, but virtually everyone has something unique to say about Cade. Obviously, this is a quest, so obviously Banshee does. But the Drifter, you don't have to talk to him to progress the story. You don't have to talk to him to do this, as a matter of fact. I was just showing that some of the other NPCs do comment on Cade's death, and I will try. I'm not going to do it right now, because, you know, we're kind of like in the middle of a mission. It's go time, that kind of thing. I'm not going to do it now, but I am going to endeavor to try. Once we finish the expansion, I'm going to go to every planet I can think of, which is all of them, really, and see who all has anything to say. I know Failsafe does. I'll probably save hers for last. I think Anna Bray does. I honestly don't remember what she says.
Memory ain't so good these days. But Cade. Never forget Cade. Hunter through and through. Left all his worldly possessions to whoever finally took him down. Don't know about you, but I'd rather lose every last memory in my head than know that little prince holds Cade's prized cannon. The Ace of Spades. You gotta promise me, put Aldrin in the ground and get the Ace of Spades back. If anyone should have the ace, it's you.
Oh, I promise. Alright, so while this next destination is loading up, I will be right back. Then I'll explain my thoughts on Cade's death and how it shouldn't have been possible. So, I will be right back.
Yes, I am humbled by your gracious acceptance. Marasav, my sister, your queen, may be gone. But she is with us now, and always. As for you, my friends, my barons, you embraced me when I was cast out. And for that, I gift to you the bounty of the Tangled Shore. Go, unleash upon the fallen chaos.
By your grace, Father.
You would be proud. The Reefborn's love for their queen remains undiminished.
Love is fleeting, but devotion, now that is forever. Not one of them has ever shown more strength of devotion than you, my dear brother. The Awoken cannot be trusted. You and I know that better than anyone. Together, we can bestow upon our people the fortune they so richly deserve. Extinction. Let us see what dreams may come.
The Tangled Shore. A lawless frontier of outlaws, scavengers, pirates. Murderers like Uldren and his fallen would fit right in. We need to search the shore. From the fallen camps in Quitter's Well to that ancient Awoken watchtower on the horizon. Leave no stone unturned. Uldren can't hide from us.
I mean, all things considering, it looks like it's pretty obvious where Uldren would be. But... and I'll just say this one more time because it's still happening. Yeah, I was looking at the YouTube thing. It's still acting up, so sorry if...
Ethonra told us Cade's killers are skulking about the Tangled Shore. It's not much of a lead, but it's all we've got. Let's get to searching. Uldren and his gang of Fallen can't hide from us.
Yeah, you already said that, Ghost. I believe we actually do need to head towards the tower, because there is no marker right now. You really do just kind of have to look around. I do believe it is heading towards the tower. I don't know what he was looking for, but I figured if I give him a closer look, he might be able to see it a bit better. Something I should also mention is similar to the Warmind expansion. I was a bit underleveled for the Forsaken one, aka this one. So it was a little tricky getting through it. Like, I had to go to the Barrens from weakest to strongest.
I've marked a suspicious energy signature on your display. Might be worth checking out.
Yeah, I believe this is towards the tower. It's like over there, I think. But yeah, I believe now I could take them out in any order I so choose, but I'll try to keep it in the chronological order, the order you're supposed to kill them in.
Huh. Well, that's gotta be something. This is some kind of smuggler's tunnel.
Nice, I timed that perfectly.
Those were the creatures we fought in the Prison of Elders. They're spreading. There, on the ridge.
Perhaps you will give my children a better mind than your friend Cade.
Oh, mine might not be as cinematic.
Your shield and my sword.
But you best believe I'm gonna win this fight. Oh, and don't worry, I still know I need to talk about how Cade shouldn't be dead. I'm just trying to wait for that for, like,
they're sucking the
when
ether
we're
out of
flying.
this servitor, corrupting it.
Because the cutscenes and the dialogue just seems to appear half randomly. So I would hate to have to stop what I'm saying every 20, I say 20, more like every 7 seconds. And then risk forgetting what I'm talking about. So I'm going to wait either for, like, literally nothing going on, or when I'm flying through space. I will touch on it a little bit though, because I'll end up just repeating it later. At certain points, Cade, or rather, Guardians seemingly were invincible, but it was later written like, oh no, you can kill a Guardian if you kill their ghost, which technically doesn't kill the Guardian, it just makes them susceptible to being killed. So that's like, okay, you know, fair enough. Actually, I guess I could explain it right now. So like, you know, okay, fair enough. Guardians can be killed once you kill their ghost. Because, physically speaking, the only ones that would actually be likely to survive will either be awoken with their magic, or exos with their mechanical bodies. Humans would not fare too great.
Someone's hacking our comms.
You're late. Here I was thinking I'd be hunting Uldren alone.
Pet revenge.
We need to talk. Face to face. I'm on my way to see an old acquaintance. Word is, he wants Uldren and his barons dead as much as we do. Problem is, the feeling is mutual. So my acquaintance is laying low in a hidden bunker. If we want him to open the door, we can't leave any witnesses. Clear the area.
But then, because this was around the time Warframe and Destiny, where the fans at least were having a competition between which game is better. And to me, they're both really great in their own way. I mean, you got Warframe, which is much more technical than Destiny, and you can legit be overpowered.
Please, don't shoot the backup.
Yeah, because this is the backup. There you go.
Our backup are fallen.
Oh, did I forget to mention that?
So you notice these things say Spider's associate. So you can probably guess what the Fallen is like when we meet him. I'll admit, I actually kind of like Spider, and the reason will be obvious once we meet him. But it's not just the obvious reason, it's also because Spider has a fascination with human culture, like the words and phrases that we use, our history. I don't know, it's just flattering that he has an interest in humanity like that.
I'm complaining, but why are Fallen fighting against other Fallen?
The Scorn aren't Fallen. Not anymore.
Yeah, so they're not Fallen anymore. I accidentally did reveal their name a bit earlier, but I was like, oh well, you'll see what those are later. But yeah, these are Scorn. I'm still not going to tell you what exactly they are, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be revealed to us later as well. But just know they were once Fallen, but not anymore. Something happened. And you could make the argument that it's our fault, or at least partially. So that makes them interesting enemies, even more personal than the Fallen themselves. Because we're not responsible for the Fallen's creation. Remember, this part was, again, not hard, just a little tedious.
The fanatic has the power to resurrect dead Fallen as frenzied, bloodthirsty puppets, and he believes Uldren gave him that power.
Yeah, that's the extreme watered-down version of it, but yeah, they're essentially zombie Fallen, and the fanatic is also a zombie Fallen, but he himself is uniquely special. And yes, I'll get into that, because you really won't know this unless you do the strike mission, and he himself pretty much comments on it. But essentially, the fanatic is the one that's responsible for every single scorn. Every single one. But what makes him so uniquely special is that he has immortality that you could argue is even stronger than a Guardian's, because as I mentioned, the only way to kill a Guardian is to kill their ghost and then kill the Guardian. Because not only does it make them vulnerable to death, it actually physically weakens them, as you saw in the Red War. Like, our character could barely stand. Then again, it might have also had to do something with that fall, but even before we were kicked off Gaul's flagship, you noticed our character had a hard time just staying on her feet. So not only does it physically weaken them, it makes them vulnerable to death. So they become like fish in a barrel once you strip the light away. But that's just stripping the light away, though. So let me take that back. I'm kind of distracted here trying to fight and talk at the same time. I can normally do that, but this is like
so Aldrin
different.
And the Barons murder Cade and then come here. What's so special about the Tangled Shore?
That's not my secret to tell, Guardian. It's the reefs. I'll say this. Aldrin sent the Barons here for a reason. I just need to confirm my suspicions.
So I take back what I said, because I'm getting a little confused trying to entertain and shoot at the same time. Not talk. I can talk and fight. It's just entertain and fight's a little different for me. Anyway, I take back what I said, because that's not true. That was when the Traveler's light was turned off, like literally being shut down. You saw that didn't happen with Cade. He didn't become actually physically weaker. He was still Cade. It's just he can die. So I take back what I said. That won't happen to them, but they do become vulnerable to death once you destroy their ghost. Son of a glitch. He got me with his shockwave. I didn't know he'd be there, and he just booted me off. Well, one good death deserves another, so... hate you and your ugly neck. So as I was saying, vulnerable to death. But as I was saying before even that, hold on.
All clear out here, Petra.
Great. Now get over here.
Man, that's so annoying. I was that close to being finished. Well, whatever. At least the death is over with, so I don't have to worry about, oh, I gotta be perfect.
Shine your shoes, Guardian. You're about to meet the Spider.
He doesn't take too kindly being talking back to, especially when you're right. But that's exactly why he gets mad about it.
Well, if it isn't Petra Venge, the worst jailer in the solar system. What brings you to my home away from home? Away from home. On the run, are we?
I heard you lost the shore.
You lost my shore.
Thought you might want some help getting it back.
A guardian? And where, oh where? Pray tell, is its ghost?
Never mind the ghost. There were 2 Guardians at the Prison of Elders when it fell. Cade 6, and this one. The 3 of us want the same thing, Spider. Aldrin and his Barons. Dead.
Oh, what is your... Oh, I see. Despite our clear, mutually aligned interests, I'm sorry, but I can't help but feel like it is I who will come up short. It's true. I know where Aldrin and his Barons scheme. You go, scratch your itch, then we can just say, you owe me. Do we have a deal?
Deal.
Let that be a lesson. Never make a deal, especially vague ones, with a mob boss, kids. It's almost always not worth it. So I was saying, with the Warframe and Destiny fan bases, honestly, even now still, I would say that even the weakest Warframe could kill a Guardian. It wouldn't be that hard at all. Especially the workaround that Bungie thought they made up to make their Guardians not seem as frail. Because like I said, if all you have to do is kill a ghost, then it's really not that hard, especially if you get a drop on one like that Marksman did. So they changed it to be, oh, well, only, ooh, wow. I wish you guys could see what was going on my stream right now. Actually, you might have been able to see it. I hope not. Oh, anyway, the only thing that could kill a ghost is like darkness weapons or things that are the antithesis to the light, aka a weapon like Thorn or ammunition like Thorn can kill a ghost, which will inevitably lead to the Guardian's death. So they try to fix it that way, which is nice, but it's not too much of a fix, because then all you have to do is get your hands on some Thorn ammunition, which is apparently not that hard. If the Scorn could do it, not to mention many Guardians use the Thorn, even though they're supposed to be cleansed, it wouldn't be that hard to get them corrupted again. Especially if you know as much about the Hive as Eris does.
Spider pretend. I'm sorry about Cade. He didn't deserve to. And my people are in ruins. Those who knelt to Uldren he slaughtered. The rest have scattered. But it's not too late for revenge. Here. This bow is for you. Straight from the Vestian armory. Let's go set things right.
One more thing before I give you the location of the Baron's soiree. The prison of elders continues to leak like a sieve. Someone should clean up that mess before traipsing off for murder and mayhem. What do you say, friend? Quid pro quo before you go?
I actually forgot about this. If I had remembered, I would have done this a day in advance. That way I wouldn't have to worry about it. So, unfortunately, we have to deal with it, because we have to do 5 bounties, these being the easiest. But you see, there's only 4. So that means I have to do one of these as well.
Good choice, my friend. You have good taste.
Alright, so here's what my plan is. Because this is going to stall us, and I can't just hop back into the story, I actually am going to stop here, especially...
Good.
That's neat. Especially since my FC is having an event tonight, and I don't want to miss it. So I am going to stop here. Before I stop, let me finish my thought. So the reason why Cade's ghost should not have been dead is because it's 100% possible, or killed rather. Then again, I guess maybe this could have worked, but the fact that they didn't show it is why I bring it into question, is that anytime our character dies, like you might have saw it when it happened to me, it happened so fast, I'm not sure. But when I died, my ghost creates like this orb of light around it to kind of like protect itself, because it can be getting hit by thrall slashes, night boomers, anything, and the ghost doesn't die. And obviously you can make the argument that's for gameplay reasons, but the fact that they tied in your immortality to be a gameplay reason, I'm not going to call shenanigans on that. I would say, yes, your ghost is immortal as long as they keep up that shield of light. There's no reason at all for Sundance, Cade 6's ghost, to not have had her shield up at that point. And you can make the argument, well, you know, when you bring your ghost up like this right now, their shield isn't up. Yeah, that's because typically when you're doing this, you're in a safe environment. Cade knew he was fighting an enemies he has never encountered before, and they were kicking his butt. So why would he not have his ghost do that? Why would he not try to find some cover, like, I don't know, under some of that debris, like he did once or twice during that entire fight, then get recovered, then come back out arm swinging? He didn't. He brought out his ghost, no shield, no cover, no nothing, knowing the enemies were still present. He didn't take them all out. He just brought his ghost out. It got shot, and then he died. Like I said, they handled it as best they could, I guess. You know, it's not like he died disgracefully or anything like that, but for many, many reasons, Cade 6 shouldn't be dead. And for the next stream, just to, you know, make sure anyone who sees this actually might show up, consider it some bait on the hook, if you will, is I'll explain why...
Sensors show an inbound fallen containment cell from the Prison of Elders.
I'll explain why Cade 6 should be able to come back from the dead. Like I said, it can go either way, but personally I don't want him to, but I'll get into that tomorrow. So, thank you all for tuning in. Before I end this, just a little fun fact. To make this into a heroic mission, you need to shoot the vents on the side to reveal a cooling orb and then throw that at the boss. I think you need to do 3 of them, then he's frozen. Then you need to stand near him to capture him like a point, and then once you do that, you finish it, making it heroic. You make it heroic when you freeze him. You finish it by standing in the circle. But almost no one does that, either because they just straight up don't want to or they don't know. But yeah. So I guess I'll let this play now that we're here. I was just going to end the stream. But yeah, we do need to damage him a bit. And since the entire point is to not kill him, I'll actually use my super on the vent. Yep, just like that. Well, I said I'll use my super, but we'll see. There we go. So we pick it up like this, throw it. But as you can see, they don't care, so there. Not sure how I got lore for that, but eh. So yeah, I'll finish the patrols on my own time. That way, you know, doesn't take away from the story too much. Plus, I'm really concerned about what's going on here with my YouTube stream. It's like the video's wigging out something fierce. So hopefully that'll be better later. I might resume tonight. It depends, but we'll see. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you around.